See this, gentlemen. Let's have a look. Mr. Albanese.
Australia.
Mr. Dutton? Well, a great system and one that we've invested in, that we believe in strongly. But at the moment, you're paying about $43 to go and see a doctor, and so it should be accompanied by the credit card that you've got to take to the doctors as well.
Do you have that in your pocket? You're probably thinking he's going to pull it out at some stage. You've got your credit card there?
No, I haven't.
You want to abolish bulk billing altogether by having a charge.
I wanted to make primary care sustainable.
By having a charge every time people visit the doctor, it would have been no bulk billing.
No, but your charge now is $43.
That was what you did.
Your charge is $43.
That's what you did. We're repairing your mess.
I think you both had policies in the past, though, that you walked away from. We talked about negative gearing. You walked away from that, and Mr. Dutton's walked away from the 2014 budget, and we know all about that.
But he pretends it didn't happen.
Okay. We want to listen to a quick soundbite.
That my word is my bond.
Remember that, Mr. Albanese? I do.
I do.
Yeah, but you broke your word.
I did.
So
I did. I changed my mind because I could not resile from the need to do something to help people because of cost of living pressures.
Sure.
So what I did was I fronted up.
Yeah.
I went along to the National Press Club. I didn't pretend that we hadn't changed our position.
No.
I went along, I argued the case, and guess what? The coalition voted for it as well.
We gave you snaps of that. But you remember the interview, I do.
Yeah.
I put those arguments to you at that time, and I said, why won't you change this? Because all those things you just articulated were real then, and they're real now. And you said, because my word is my bond.
Except, Mark, that what occurred with global inflation, where inflation hit, here it peaked at 7.8, overseas it peaked...
Things got worse as your argument,
It peaked
is
in
it?
double digits. It peaked in double digits.
Yeah.
And I couldn't, in all conscience, on the 1st of July, get $9,000 for all of us and a whole lot of people who are watching at home
But I
not
put
get a
this to you
single
at
dollar.
that time. I put that to you at that time. Mr. Dutton, is your word your bond?
Yes, it is. And if you're talking about the stage 3 tax cuts, don't forget it's stage 3 because stage 1 and stage 2 tax cuts were introduced by a coalition government, and we supported stage 3 tax cuts. So the whole idea was to address bracket creep that you spoke of before. Under this government, people are paying $3,500 extra in tax over the course of the last 3 years.
You voted for the change. So not only did we change our position, but it went through the Parliament unanimously.
You changed it.
Okay, we're talking about your word being your bond. On that point, we want you to listen to something else, Mr. Dutton.
Well, I've apologised for the decision that we took in relation to work from home.
How did you get that policy so wrong?
We said in relation to public servants in Canberra that we wanted to go back to something like what it was before COVID, which was about 60% of people at work. Still flexibility for a lot of people, and believe very strongly in flexibility in work arrangements. It's down to 20% in Canberra. We have, on a per capita basis, the highest number of public servants in the world, and the government has increased the number of public servants threefold. The point I was making is that if Australians are out there working their guts out at the moment, an extra job or a second job, they're paying taxes, they expect their money to be spent efficiently. What the Prime Minister did, as he's done with a number of other issues, is twisted and contorted into something that it wasn't. And the point I make was that, yes, the Prime Minister scared particularly women and others into believing that we were doing something that we weren't, and I apologise for that.
Okay, well, we know the conditions in the public sector become a template for the private sector, though, don't we?
But you said when you announced the policy that people could just job share. That's what you said. And since the backflip, a number of your people, senior people, have said that they still support the policy. It was just the wrong time. The truth is that this attack on public servants would then create a precedent for the private sector, which is why people were so concerned that it doesn't understand what modern families do. Like sacking 41,000 public servants, you had 54,000 consultants at various times during your period in office being paid a lot more than public servants, and you had robo-debt, and you had veterans waiting.
We're getting back into the weeds now, and we could talk about this all night, and I wish we could, frankly, because I think this is really helpful. However, time is closing on us. So your closing statements, gentlemen. I've been out there on the streets with you for the past 4 weeks. I've got to tell you, I'm sorry, I'm going to be out there next week with you as well. So I know how hard you're working. The one thing people are saying to me, and I'm sure they're saying to you, is where's the inspiration? Where's the hope? Give me some hope. Give me something to look forward to. Your closing statement's 1 minute. Mr. Dutton, you're going first. Give the people some hope.
Well, Mark, firstly, thank you to you and Nat, and to Anthony as well. I believe we live in the greatest country in the world. I know that many Australians are really doing it tough at the moment, and I don't believe Australians can afford 3 more years of increased costs of everything. I want to make sure we can deliver support immediately through the 25 cent a litre cut in fuel tax, the $1,200 tax rebate, and I want to make sure that we can transform our energy market, get more gas into the system, bring the wholesale price of gas down by 23%. If we do that, we can bring down the costs across the economy. We can bring inflation down through good economic management, and that's exactly what is required in our country right now. If we make the right decisions now, we can protect our generation and future generations and make our country and our communities safer. And that's exactly what I'm dedicated to doing. So if people vote for the Liberal and National candidate at this election, we can get our country back on track, and we can make sure that we can invest into families, help grow our economy, reduce interest rates, and help Australians get through what has been a terrible period.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Albanese. People are crying out for hope and inspiration. Your 1 minute.
Well, I'm optimistic about Australia's future, and what gives me hope is the resilience, the courage, the optimism of the Australian people. We are the greatest country on the planet, and we're driven by our people as well as, of course, the natural assets that we enjoy. And I want to back our people through skills and training. That's why we're investing in every school by giving a better and fairer schools funding. That's why we're investing in early childhood education. That's why we're investing in free TAFE, to give people that opportunity to be the best that they can. That's why we're working so hard with the Australian people to bring down inflation. If we get it right, the future is so bright for us, because we live in the fastest growing region of the world in human history, and our people are our greatest asset, including our multiculturalism, of course, gives us those direct links to the economies of Asia.
Gentlemen, thank you very much for entering into the spirit of the debate tonight. We've covered a lot of ground. 6 days to go. Good luck to both of you. Let the best man win. Nat?
Well, Australia now